This is the North Georgia Life Podcast. Embrace life where you live. Back to the North Georgia Life Podcast is Jake, your host. Today's episode, we are at Dahlonega Healing Herds, which is a donkey rescue and rehab sanctuary right here in Lumpkin County, North Georgia. And I selfishly, this episode is 100% for me. If somebody else loves donkey, like God bless you, but this was entirely because donkeys are like my spirit animal. And every time I see a donkey, like I can spot a donkey in the middle of a field surrounded by wildebeest. Like I have a laser beam on donkeys. I can see them because like we have like this spirit connection somehow. Probably not. But one of the things I hope that you see in this episode and you hear the heart behind the people who started it. And this is like a nonprofit in its infancy. So not brand new, but close to it. But it is like there is no difference too small to make. And when you hear the story of kind of just how this started, and then you just kind of look around where you live, work, and play, and there's all kinds of needs out there, and there's some great organizations that are meeting those needs, and you may find something that is really kind of a need that's not being met. This was one of those, and some of the neglect and or abuse of donkeys is deliberate, but some of it is just like life happens. You know, people get sick or pass away, or grandma and grandpa had donkeys in their pasture, and they have to go into assisted living. The farm gets sold, and something happens to the animals and the contents of the farm. It's just life. And when you have something that kind of pulls at your heart, this is a great just illustration and example of how you can practically walk out, making that happen. So I hope you get something out of it. If you have any inclination of like checking it out, like I made a TikTok on it. So you can check out, it's on my our real estate TikTok, which is, if you don't follow us on TikTok, let me just tell you, I hate 98% of everything I see from realtors on social media, and I'm one of them. But so we deliberately try to be entertaining and provide some laughter and some just fun stuff, not just like look at this house. Email me if you want to know where we're at on TikTok, because I don't know the handle off the top of my head. But it's North Georgia Life Podcast on Facebook, Instagram. You can email us at northgeorgialifepodcast@gmail.com. And hey, if this is helpful for you, if you get anything out of any of these episodes, like share it with a friend, share it with your office, coworkers, spouse, kids, whatever. Everything we do is to try to help people who make our North Georgia community that much better, and help their businesses and help their causes, and bring an awareness to the things that they're passionate about, which is all part of the fabric that makes North Georgia so stinking awesome. So, and hey, the podcast is free. So with that, let's get started with some donkeys in Dahlonega. Welcome back to the North Georgia Life Podcast. Jake, your host, and today we are, selfishly, this may be my favorite episode of the year, because this is my spirit animal. Those of you who know me, those of you who don't, my favorite animal on the planet is a donkey. And we are at Dahlonega Healing Herd Sanctuary in, obviously, Dahlonega, Georgia, with Jim and Amy, who are the founders and entrepreneurs behind this animal sanctuary, which is starting off as an animal sanctuary. You were sharing with me a few minutes ago, you have big dreams and plans, and everything's just a matter of time and life and sequencing. Yes. And so, Amy, why don't you give us a quick introduction to the two of you and kind of where this vision came from.
The vision came actually from depression. I had lost my grandmother. My father got diagnosed with dementia, and I just felt like my world was crashing in around me. So I personally wanted my spirit animal too as a donkey, and I just wanted two of my own. And the way they healed me and helped me cope with life and depression, I just felt like there was a need to share these amazing animals with everyone with depression, autism, rehabilitation, anything like that. They're magical. They're absolutely magical.
And you were sharing with me your kind of heritage is from here. How far from here?
Oh yeah, well, on both sides of my family, we are Appalachian American.
Okay.
Our roots go back to the Cherokee. Another thing, donkeys and mules helped build Dahlonega, and both of my grandparents on both of my sides of my family had donkeys and mules. My grandfather Kane was a logger, so he used his mules to pull the logs, and my grandfather Odom was a farmer, and that was our transportation. Dahlonega was built on the backs of donkeys and mules. When people come and visit our sanctuary here, not only about donkeys and how they're just so misunderstood and forgotten about animal, first of all, and just a little bit of history of the town that we're representing here, Dahlonega, with the gold mines and
the
logging, just everything. If it wasn't for mules and donkeys, a lot of things wouldn't be here right now. So we're just trying to keep our heritage alive through donkeys in a way, but also let people know how amazing these forgotten animals are. I mean, they are just absolutely, you just have to see it to believe it and feel the magic.
And Jim, where are you from?
I'm originally from New Jersey.
Okay.
So, but I had a love for the mountains because when we did live in New Jersey, we lived up towards New York State. And so it was very mountainous up there. And as a child, I spent a lot of time in the woods camping and going to upper state New York and traveling through Pennsylvania to different festivals they would have there. And so when we moved down here in 79, these mountains had automatically attracted me to them. And it wasn't until 97 where I moved up here and actually met Amy, and she was the genuine Appalachian girl. So I knew I was home and I found the one for me. Little did I know at 60 years old, I would be running a donkey sanctuary where most of them will probably outlive me by 30, 40 years.
Wow. And
so it's been a lot of work.
Yeah.
But it's enjoyment.
A labor of love.
When you get to see some of the creatures that we brought in here and the condition they were in and how skittish they were and how, miserable their conditions were, and then watch them turn a complete 360 and become this loving creature that wants attention and relies on you morning and night to be fed.
No greater reward.
Yeah, it's a great reward. And then also, we've been involved in the community with one of the senior living houses here, and we brought the donkeys to the senior living houses, and just watching the elderly people just light up when we brought the donkeys into their home, literally.
Joy and magic,
and
literally.
They were like, some of them were like, watch out, the donkey will kick you, you got to be careful. Well, that's the donkeys get a bad rap. I've seen them kick each other more than they ever tried to kick me.
Yeah.
And so, just to look on children's faces, because some of them will allow me to put the kids on top of their backs, for a little while. But we're working on that. We're working on a program to where we can get the donkeys to be pulling carts, to be walking on trails, which some of them do now, but at a larger.
Yeah, there's a lot of them that are halter trained, so we can do hiking with donkeys, and we have a beautiful nature walk with a beautiful scenery to offer, people who want to come and just walk a donkey and see some beautiful nature as well.
And we had donkey shoots. So people came up here with the mountain views, and they've taken pictures with the donkeys in the backdrop, and that's one way to help feed them.
We just want to bring awareness to donkeys.
Yeah.
In America, there's only maybe 20 facilities, nonprofits, that specifically are designed for donkeys. The rest are for, horses, cats, dogs, you name it. But there are just a handful for donkeys. And they are absolutely a forgotten animal that needs our help.
You were talking about your depression and just them helping you in that healing process. And you may have said it, and I don't remember, but what was it about the donkey? Were you specifically seeking out donkeys, or were you did you just happen to run into an environment where there was a donkey and you just bonded with the donkey?
Well, my whole life I've been around them because of my grandparents.
Okay.
Because they both had mules and donkeys.
Okay.
But we went on a little, in 2020, we went on a little across the America little.
Yeah.
We had a camper and we were camping, doing the camping life for a little while.
Yeah.
And everywhere we went, there was a donkey. And it was just like calling my name and just like...
You went on a road trip and you just kept running into donkeys?
Yes. Yeah, so we went up to North Carolina.
And how odd is that, right?
So we went to North Carolina, and I think it was Daniel Boone National Forest up there. And
we
Daniel
stayed in
Boone
that park.
Campground. And we were just there one night. And she's like, what's out there in that shed
there were
over
two
there?
Donkeys.
I'm like, I don't know. Let's go look. Went out there's 2 donkeys in there. I'm like, you got to be kidding me. And so, like, every morning or that morning, she'd get up and feed him and everything. She's like, I want to stay here longer. It's like, we're only here one night. We're headed to Cape Hatteras.
I wanted to stay because of the donkeys. Yeah.
So we left there, and every time we would go up Highway 60 towards Blairsville, there's a pull-off. There's a little park on the left-hand side of the road, and it's right on the river, and we let the dogs out there and everything. She's like, I'm going to check this place out. And she goes walking around back. There's a donkey in the back there with some goats and chickens. She's like, oh, my God, here's another donkey. And so we just kept running into these donkeys.
And then just when...
where was those other donkeys that we saw?
I'm trying to remember, but there were more on our trip, and it was just like a sign.
Calling our name,
But they're amazing animals. I mean,
they really are.
There's not many people that have been around them enough to know.
Yeah.
And we're trying to change that here in Dahlonega. We're trying to invite the community. It's just something different, and we call it Dahlonega Healing Herds because we're trying to heal people and donkeys together.
That's awesome.
And I think with the community service workers that we have here, it's really making an effect on them too.
You can see it.
Because I let them work some and then say, okay, you can brush the donkeys now. Versus like, hey, just come here and brush donkeys. No.
Right.
I'm going to make them do a little work, and then they're going to take a little time off to get hands-on and brush them and feed them and kind of understand what it's about. And I know a lot of money's been spent with people who have PTSD, have gone through a lot of traumatic stuff, that there's equine programs out there that the government has paid a lot of money here in this county to have their people helped. So eventually we would like to become part of that program as well and offer our services for that.
Because donkeys are equine as well, even though they're nothing like a horse.
Yeah, they eat different than horses. They don't wear
different.
horseshoes at all. Just sometimes they're a little stubborn. I'll give them that,
But it's only because they're so intelligent. They're actually thinking what they want to do. It's not that they're just stubbing up. They're actually thinking.
Self-preservation. They don't want to do something they think that's going to hurt themselves.
They're going to think it through before they do anything.
And I knew I was destined now to have donkeys because when my cousin and I were real little, our neighbor, my grandmother's neighbor, had a cement donkey out there by her pool. And there was a picture of me and my cousin sitting on that little donkey. And I'm trying to get my sister to find that picture.
That's awesome.
Because I know Amy's just going to love it when she sees it.
We get a lot of laughs when you go and they ask, well, what do you do?
Yeah.
And we say, we have a donkey sanctuary.
Right.
So we get a lot more laughs than we do people taking us serious. But we are totally serious here.
So from the donkey sanctuary has not, you're fairly new in terms of the nonprofit and your actual operation and setup. What was the catalyst from going from the donkeys have helped me in my personal world to, hey, I think we need to do this like as a nonprofit, like an actual organization, and you'd not done anything like that before. So what was that process like? And one, and then two, if somebody's listening to this and they're like, I've got, my donkey story, maybe not the same thing, but a similar type of life circumstance, a nugget or two of just wisdom or experience that you've had in the where you're at now, even though it's you're in the as you said, fledgling stage, like
Yes.
the young infancy stage.
Yes.
But you're still further ahead than some people who have not gotten started. So anything that you would say to that person, and secondly,
what we were blessed with Alfred Chang, he's a local lawyer here in Dahlonega, and he pro bonoed to do the 501c3. He offered his services to us because it was going to take us a few years to save the money up to do that. It cost a few $1,000s to get a 501c started. A whole lot of paperwork, a lot of work. So he totally did everything for us for free because he loved what we were trying to do here. And why I wanted to go make it a nonprofit is I really want to share their love with the community. I think that they have something to offer. They have healing properties. And if you've got something good, why not share it? So that's what we're just trying to do here. We're trying to do good for our community.
That's awesome. What would you share with somebody who's maybe in the thought processes or the want to, or is going to have that experience this year of having their own, healing through, whatever it is, to from where you're at now to where you were when you were getting started? What would you say?
Build you a good barn first. Make sure it has good drainage, and you have plenty of acreage, and don't have any green grass, because we had green grass, and if you like grass, it's gone like immediately.
Donkeys and grass are not good. It's not good for their health.
I would make sure you had the barn in place first, good fencing, a way to transport them. We're blessed by having a local vet, Pam Milliken. She does come out here to the sanctuary and treats our donkeys. You need to find a good farrier, because a horse farrier may necessarily not know how to trim a donkey's hooves, because they're different. So that's a learning thing as well. Wouldn't you agree,
Another
Amy?
thing I wanted to mention too was once we can get funding and some possible grants, the donkey skin trade, I want to bring that up. We want to, if you could go to change.org and sign our petition and learn about what they're doing with the donkeys. It's a gruesome process that you can't believe is still happening. So what our future plans are is to build a 20-stall stable on our property that we showed you earlier today, and actually go straight to the auctions and save them from the kill pens and the slaughterhouses. And our dream in life would be to stop all kill pens and slaughterhouses. So that's where we really want to make a difference, and actually go to the auctions and save them, and have an adoption program. So people who can come that might want a donkey of their own, once they maybe come here and learn and hands-on, we'll also have that adoption program.
For people who do want to get involved and either learn, or you were joking before, everybody's kind of the concept of, I want a donkey, is like, I want a donkey to keep the cows,
the guardian
keep
donkeys.
the coyotes away from the cows, or the goats, or the sheep, or chickens, or whatever. Some of the literal hands-on education is worth its weight in gold. Just from the life longevity, but also the care, the maintenance, if I can use that word, like those sorts of things for people who may want to get involved in college students. Say, like, hey, I can't make a financial donation, but I can give you 5 hours a week between classes or whatever.
They can get in touch with me or Amy, either through our Facebook or by the information that we can give you today. And we can definitely set them up to, if they want to come volunteer at some point.
We're like, again, we're in our infancy. It's again with the parking lot. If we can get that parking lot situation straightened out, we can offer and do a lot more with what we have here. But definitely any volunteer, just call us and we'll set up something for them. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. And also to educate them as well. Well, like right now on the weekends, we're setting up, of course, our Nativity Santa's
Christmas
pictures,
photos.
Christmas photos,
For
and that's
a
helping raise
fundraiser.
money to buy feed and weather permitting. And it looks like it's raining again this weekend.
Yeah.
But hopefully, we can squeeze it in between the.
Yeah, these guys go
25%.
through 3 bales of hay a day and a
Yeah.
bag of feed. So it's what donations we get have been blessings to keep us going.
Yeah. And you have how many donkeys currently?
I say 14 and a half because we have one girl that's possibly pregnant.
We think one has
Yeah.
one inside her. She was a rescue off of
52. out there.
52 down here. We worked with animal control, and they were out there 4 hours before we got there, which turned into an 8-hour chase.
Oh gosh.
we
With
finally
about
got
6
her.
people, and we didn't know exactly if we were going to get to keep her.
Yeah.
We thought she was going to go to the horse rescue place in Cumming, and she's like, "Listen, I have a lot. You can have the donkey." So then they called us back, and we went back out there and brought our trailer, and we were able to get her loaded up.
And there's a possibility that she may be pregnant with a horse, which might be our first little mule here. And what people don't know, mules are sterile. You have to have a donkey and a draft horse to make a mule.
Huh.
So that's another thing that's kind of
Didn't know that.
diminishing is mules.
And,
Yeah.
Yeah, so a mule is made by a horse and a donkey,
Right.
and then a donkey and a horse make a henny.
If the mother is a donkey, then the baby is going to be called a henny. But if the mother is a horse, then the baby will be called a mule. If
Huh.
it's, yeah.
There you go.
Yep. There's
Somebody's gonna win Tuesday night trivia.
There's a lot of trivia here about donkeys. I can give you a lot.
Wow.
They're very misunderstood, and there's a they carry the cross on their back. There's the legend of the donkey's cross. We're very proud of them. They're just absolutely amazing animals that I can't speak enough about.
You were mentioning before we got started some of, I don't say your thrust, but you really want to be community involved, community minded
Absolutely.
with everything you do.
Yes.
What are some of the things that you guys have done or have on the docket for the coming year in terms of community involvement or things that you want to do or be a part of or whatever, that if someone is in the community that
Maybe listening.
and want to say, hey, I think we could integrate this into XYZ organization or cause or event or whatever.
Well, we would like to offer all preschools, field trips out here to have little donkey educational classes. We like to visit the retirement facilities here.
Well,
We also have a PhD on our board, and she specializes in autism. So she would lead our autism program with the donkeys, and that's something that is still being put together. There's no protocol for a donkey sanctuary, so we have to make our own protocol as we go. So we're learning every day and trying new and different things that will involve and help the community.
what worked good one time with us was we had donkeys in the park.
Oh yeah, we
So
have
had
Donkey
3
Fest.
bands donate their time and all their tip money, and we brought the donkeys up and we put them in a corral, and people came to learn
Hancock
about
Park.
it.
Hancock?
Yes, and that's
And
going to
we
be
look
an
forward-
annual thing. We're going to do
Yeah.
it this year again. It's
Yes.
called
We look forward to doing
Donkey
that
Fest.
again.
Yes.
I'm
Yep.
there, front row.
Yep. We had a grand time. And this summer, we had a gold rush booth this year,
Yeah.
and we sold our donkey tail paintings. So we have some original one-of-a-kind art. If anybody
Wow.
would be interested in purchasing a donkey tail painting.
Show them to you before you leave today.
Yep. And we're hoping to be as famous as Pig Picasso. You'll have to YouTube Mr. Pig Picasso. So we're trying to follow in his hoof prints.
Yeah.
The possibilities are endless, and what we really need is funding, and to keep going with.
Yeah.
We're ready to to do as much as we can with our community.
To the funding side of things, one, what is the best, easiest way for people to give or contribute any sort of financial capacity? And then if you'd mentioned something with grants or something like that.
We're still learning the grant writing
if somebody
process.
has any level of expertise in
Would
that
be
world,
so appreciated.
Yes.
Yes.
And if the college students, like it, in order to pass their classes or whatever, have to learn how to write grants or have an experience with that, we certainly welcome that. We also welcome video choreographers to help us with putting the YouTube videos together.
Any kind of help with that would be
we get hits
appreciated.
on the ones that we have now.
And but for donating, we are using our PayPal.
Okay.
And we have a Venmo. And you can also mail checks to Dahlonega Healing Herds here at 707 Old Federal Road, Dahlonega, Georgia.
You got a great property for it as well. You're right on the outskirts of
we're only 3
downtown.
miles from downtown Dahlonega, so it would be very convenient to the tourism here. You know, that's another thing that people might be interested in. We would like to do next year, do more Christmas-oriented themes here for tourists to come by and visit.
If you could go back to when you started and do something sooner, faster, better, not do something that maybe slowed you down, is there anything that would come to mind in terms of getting the plane off the ground?
Wish I would have started it 20 years ago when I was younger.
We wish we had started. I wish I had started 20. Yeah, exactly what he says. We wish we had started sooner. I'll be turning 50 in January this year. And that was another thing. I'm like, do what your heart's desire.
Yeah.
You know, do it while you got the chance to do it. And this is my dream, and this is my chance, and I'm just trying to make it happen. We're just we're humble and grateful for everything that we get, and we want to share it with the community. We want to share how we feel, how some of our visitors feel here. Once you come and visit, it's you won't forget it.
Yeah. I didn't realize how long donkeys live.
Yes.
Estimated between 30 to 50 years.
Yes.
30 to 50
There's
years.
at a donkey sanctuary in Oklahoma, there is a donkey out there. I think her name is Missy. She's 48 years old.
Wow.
And, you know, our oldest donkey here is 30.
Wow.
Goose. Yeah. So we've got, they have some longevity.
Big picture takeaways. You were sitting down with somebody and you could only give them 1, 2, 3 little nuggets that you would want them to take away from or be part of the cause with those couple things. The skin trade, and you said it was change.org. Is that
Change.org.
Change.org. The community involvement.
Yes.
Anybody in the community, there's probably an application, whether it's you coming there or them coming here.
Yes.
To make the community, make your day better.
Yes, yes. If you could have seen the faces on the elderly we went to Whispering Willows. It was just a joy to be there to watch. And we're going to go back there on Valentine's Day bring a little kissing booth and do a little kissing photo shoot with the donkeys. You know, like I said, I have the mind of a 5-year-old. This is my playground, and I'm loving it. Yeah.
And of course, they'll be dressed up in their Valentine outfits.
They'll have their little tutus
their hearts
on
in their head.
So a question I like to do before the end of every episode is called Lightning Round, which has nothing to do with anything. But this has a little bit to do with, well, maybe not. So you mentioned your road trip. Funniest thing that happened, keep it PG, funniest thing that happened start to finish on the road trip. And you can each answer so you don't have to pick one. But if it's the same, I'm certain it was funny.
A funny thing, right? Not okay. I guess he was mad at me because I didn't want to leave the Daniel Boone Park because the donkeys were there. And we were there for 5 days.
How early was it?
I'm serious.
You were supposed to be there one day, and you were there 5 days.
A couple, and I wanted to stay. I was very content there.
We were there a few days. But the other thing it was sort of funny, I guess. We woke up in the middle of the night in Cape Hatteras State Park or Cape Hatteras Campground, and we're like, where are the dogs?
We had our labs with us, and they were gone.
It was about 2:30 in the morning, and the dogs managed to get out of the trailer because we were in a camper, right? And so they were out in the bay swimming around.
We don't know how, if they kept the neighbors up all night and how long they were gone.
Yeah, we were kind of on guard the next couple of days because I don't know if you know what happens when dogs drink salt water. It doesn't agree with their system.
Probably not good.
No.
So we were on guard.
We had a lot of cleanups.
Oh gosh.
Explosive diarrhea.
We decided to head back to Georgia after that.
Yeah.
Oh.
Don't let salt water and dogs are not a good thing if they consume a little bit of it. And ours are not the brightest of labs, so they had to learn the hard way.
Come back soaking wet in the middle of the night.
I'm like, where?
Smiling
what?
like idiots.
Yeah.
What?
And another thing is, we thought that it would be okay to pull a how much did that trailer? 3,000-pound trailer with a Jeep Wrangler 4-door. That's all well and good until you start going up the mountain roads.
Up the mountain. Yeah.
Many times my life flashed before my eyes.
I'm glad I had Amy as my co-pilot to tell me how to drive. 'Cause if I didn't, we would have never made it back home.
Oh, it was more like screaming.
So that was the first and last trip with the camper and the Jeep because we looked good doing it. We took the Dodge Ram every trip after
Safety,
that.
not so much.
Because you couldn't tell it was behind it with the Ram pulling it,
man.
could you?
Yeah, so that was some,
there you go.
Some scary, odd.
You made me laugh. So.
Learn your towing capabilities is what I'm saying. Yeah.
So, for best ways for people to find you, connect with you, follow you, contact you.
We have our web page is www.healingherds.org. is our website. We also have Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and that's all Dahlonega Healing Herds.
Okay.
We have our Venmo through Dahlonega Healing Herds and PayPal.
Okay.
And also you can mail checks to Dahlonega Healing Herds at 707 Old Federal Road, Dahlonega, Georgia.
Awesome. I'm excited for you. And you, the nonprofit was established in what year?
It was established last year. We're just we're very into our first year of being established.
Yeah. Any donations over $500, I believe, are tax deductible.
Yep, everything's tax deductible.
Jim and Amy, thank you for your time
Thanks for coming
sharing
out
your
and showing
story.
interest. I've been excited ever since we've spoke. So thank you for coming out.
This is the North Georgia Life Podcast. Embrace life where you live.